Hello, hello. Welcome back to A Spiritual Podcast, Season 3, Episode 2, where we're not just talking about spirituality, we're learning how to live it, be it, embody it to fulfillment. Last episode, we talked about the psyche, the soul, and the mind, and how maybe they're not as separate as we've been led to believe. So today, I want to bring that into something real, something lived, something that you can actually recognize in yourself, hopefully. Because if you're anything like me, which I'm sure that you are, you've had moments where you feel clear, aligned, present, aware maybe. Like you're not just thinking, you're just doing, you're being, and maybe you're even watching yourself think. And then, on the other side of the coin, you've had these moments where you're completely overwhelmed, absolutely reactive, and stuck inside a loop, trying to just survive and figure everything out. For me, it's the same person, same body, same life, just completely different experiences. Almost like completely different personalities. About to go down a rabbit hole in my own head in the middle of recording. Anyways, I'm back. So, for a long time, I thought that one of those sides of the coin was the right version of me, even the perfect version of me. And the other side of that coin meant that I was wrong, imperfect. However, I really got to dissecting it and I had this nice little epiphany because I started questioning everything. And so I'll answer it with a question. What if that's not really what's happening, right? Like, what if one side of me is not right and one side of me is not wrong? Because I started thinking of it like this. Two people can be in the same room. One is quiet, maybe more present and aware, and the other is overwhelmed, reactive, and looping, right? Two sides of the same coin, just in two different bodies, two different human experiences, experiencing each other. And they're not different in any essence. They're just in different layers of experience in that moment. Some might say, even to bring balance. Or we can take it one step further and say, kind of screw balance in that regard. We can say they're there to teach us a lesson, right? They're here to share this experience so each other can learn from one another's side of the coin. And the raw truth that I have come to know is that I have been both sides of the coin. You have been both sides of the coin. We have all been both sides of the coin. So, if the psyche is the soul and the mind is how we process and translate, going back to season 3, episode 1 real quick, then what we're really experiencing isn't connected versus disconnected. It's aware versus identified. Aware of something deeper, beyond the self or the ego's state of self, or fully inside the experience, attached to it, making it our identity. And that was me hitting my chest. And both are part of being human. Both are part of having a spiritual experience, bridging the gap between human and spiritual, becoming a spiritual human being. Which, end game, right? So now, when we are in that overwhelmed state, it can feel like the mind is the problem, right? That's what I kind of get upset with, is my mind. Like it's feeding the loops, the disease, dis-ease, the disconnection, the disorder, whatever it may be. It's feeding it, right? Because it's stuck on this loop and I've got this insanity loop going around where I can't stop thinking about it and I keep trying to figure out a solution while I'm stuck in the same thought pattern that doesn't grant me a solution, right? Insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. I've been through that one too many times. And I'm sure that you can relate. And if you can't, you don't want to. You don't want that experience. I've lived it for you. I promise you don't want it. Anyways, all that to say, what I started to realize in those loops, that my mind wasn't ever broken, even though I used to think it was. My mind was ultimately trying to solve something that it didn't have the capacity to hold on its own at that time, because its knowledge was limited of how to handle that situation, or because the trauma from a previous situation was so in-depth and so ingrained that it limited me from being able to think outside of the box to escape the loop in the first place. And the more that I tried, the more the loop in the past programming and the past experiences would kind of just loop me even more. And this is where something shifted for me. Not because I forced it, because I stopped expecting my mind to carry everything. And I started to build trust. Not overnight, and definitely not perfectly. Like a muscle or a tendon or a neuron being reprogrammed, the connection between the mind and the soul started to strengthen. And here's what's important. Everyone builds that trust in different layers and through different experiences, right? Like, we're not all meant to have the exact same experience, but we are meant to rebuild this trust within us, to consecrate is the word that's coming to mind. The bridge and the gap between the mind and the soul. Solidify the bridge. Bring together two lands. I don't know, I see it like land broken apart and, all these different visuals. Because we all use similar tools, and those tools are even a reflection of these layers. Some having the label of being the right way, right? Quiet, stillness, meditation, prayer, yoga. And then there's the other tools for the other layers. Those ones we look at, or we did look at as wrong. They aren't quiet at all, are they? They are crying in the dark, slamming your fist, sulking in a bathtub with the water running over you and not even fully understanding why. Feeling like the sky opens up and cries with you on the days you can't hold it together. It's anger, it's grief, it's rage, envy and jealousy. It's meeting the parts of yourself that didn't get held when they once needed to be. Like the inner adolescent that got lost somewhere along the way and is still carrying things that were never processed. It's not your fault. And instead of fixing whatever it is, you sit with it, you hold it, you let it exist. All of these tools work too. All of these tools mentioned heal us. All of these tools strengthen the muscles, the neurons, the tendons, the cells, reconnecting the mind to the soul, right? Everything that happens in the world of matter happens in the world of the spiritual. As above, so below, as within, so without. We could make a rock song out of it. Yeah, let's go. All of the layers, seen and unseen, serve us. They serve our purpose, they serve our journey, they serve our blueprint, and they are here to serve us out of insanity loops and out of this stuck pattern of thinking that drives us crazy and triggers us. And sometimes there's this thought that's like killing me as I'm like moving through what I have written, and it's just, and I might have put it later in the writing, but it's like screaming at me. And it kind of talks about, it's going back to, staying stuck in those loops and being lost in the past, or the projecting the past into the future. So recreating the past in the future based off of previous experiences and not really being present. And I think that the looping is only solidified more by living in the past or trying to live in the future instead of being in the present. And that when we're in a present moment and we can talk to our soul through our mind and through our heart, and even surrender, right? Like give up our power of trying to control how something is fixed and just say, I don't know how to get out of this. And I can't think my way out of it, like because the thinking is obviously driving me insane. That is when I have physically had a door in my mind open up. And it's like the me or the neurons that were firing on this track loop over and over and over again were able to like shoot off into a whole new direction. And the loop just ended. So I really felt like it was important to share that. And then I kind of want to revert back to where I was, which was to say that there is no right way to move through your loops. It's not just the meditation or the experience that I just shared with you. It's not just the shadow work. It's not just awareness. It's your relationship with yourself, and maybe even all of these different modalities, and which ones bring you the most honesty, I think is what it is, right? Because we don't necessarily want modalities that bring us like comfort all the time, or like that cosign our bullshit, or that let us bypass, right? Like some days if I chose meditation, I would be bypassing that shit. And those are probably the really messy days. But then there's other days that are softer, that meditation is just perfect. Because other days, things are clear. And some days we know that nothing makes sense at all. However, all of these days, soft, messy, clear, absolutely making no sense, all of it counts. The moment that we start judging how we're processing, we create more distance within ourselves, right? We create more disconnect. Talking about judging the two different sides of the coin that we are. If we judge and say, I should be handling this better, I should be more aware, they're doing it right and I'm not, that's a spiral that we could be sending ourselves down. Now, there can also be constructive criticism. So both sides of the coin there, right? Like what's helpful and what's harmful. We need to be able to discern that for ourselves. We're allowed to acknowledge that we probably should have handled an experience better. But if it goes into the area of self-punishing or self-degradation or self-sabotage following that, then we are in harsh judgment of how we handled a situation that was only meant to show us that we are capable of handling something better. Because now we've taken something humanely spiritual, right? All of these experiences, and turned it into something that we're failing at. Like, do you think that you could actually fail at being spiritual? Like, ask yourself. I'm not worried about anybody else. Like, don't ask, can other people fail at being spiritual? Could you fail at being spiritual? And really think about it. Because from my perspective, we're all just moving through different layers in different ways at different times on purpose. We are meant to trigger each other. We are meant to mirror each other. We are meant to reflect each other. Depending on our gene keys and our human design and our astrology and all of these different layers within us, right? But we're all still meant to do it. Because the truth is, when it comes to being both sides of the coin, you are never just your most connected, aligned, flow perfect moments. And you are not just your most reactive ones where you feel fragmented and unwhole and disheveled. You are the one who experiences both, externally and internally. And the more you start to see that, the less pressure there is to stay in one place. You can move between both sides of the coin more fluidly, knowing that both sides of the coin are leading you to wholeness along your journey. And being that grounding. right? That anchoring for the future consciousness of humanity and the world that we are building. The healing, the version of Earth where we live as one, connected, interconnected, self-sustaining through symbiosis. And maybe a groundhog will share your broccoli with you instead of eating all of it. Oh, that's my own little side tangent. 2 years now. And this broccoli this groundhog broccoli's my favorite. It's absolutely my favorite. And I love my homegrown broccoli. And it's eating my lettuce and it's eating my beets. And who really cares about lettuce? And my beets I do like, but this groundhog and my broccoli. I told some friends today that I was just going to go get some sacrificial broccoli. Like I was going to plant sacrificial broccoli outside of my garden in hopes that maybe the groundhog would stop there and learn to share my broccoli with me. We need to get to that level, right? where we respect ourselves so wholly and we respect others so wholly and we are so whole in ourselves that even this groundhog can hear me say, please share, I will feed you. I blame the disconnect. That's what it is. It's totally the disconnect. But we're working through it, all of us together. And so the coin, the flipping back and forth allows the movement. What actually ultimately leads to connection and to fulfillment within us if we allow ourselves to go back and forth. Because I will repeatedly say it as long as it becomes a component in this conversation, which it is. The pleasure and the pain receptor are the same in the brain. Why do you think that is, right? So, the next time that you're in a loop, or you're overwhelmed, or you feel perfect, or you're trying to figure everything out, or you catch yourself on the quote-unquote wrong side of the coin, right? The one that you don't feel like you're supposed to be on. Because in all honesty, real quick, I just want to step into a side experience as well. There have definitely been times where I have been just amidst the chaos, and I was on the quote-unquote right side of the coin, and I was like, why was I on that side of the coin? I should have been wilding out. However, it's easier to accept that. It's easier to accept what we quote unquote think is perfect than to flip to the other side of the coin and, be wilding out and be imperfect. So instead of asking, what's wrong with you? Ask, what layer are you in right now? And maybe you could even ask, what do I need in this layer? Or what is this layer trying to teach me? How is this layer serving me? How can this layer free me? And if you really struggle with something like that, ask how you can trust the layer, right? Because your soul will communicate that through your mind. Sometimes it's the smallest voice or almost no voice. It's just a notion, a sign, a butterfly, a bee. Because even in all of these moments, you are not meant to be outside of yourself. You're always meant to be within your own world, present, your spiritual world. And that's what I want you to remember going forward. That you're not trying to become spiritual. You are already born, birthright, bloodline, blueprint, a spiritual world. In your own right, in your own being, in the fullness of yourself. And you have very different environments inside of you. Some are calm, some are chaotic, some are quiet, and some are really loud. And yet all of them are still very much you. So, in episode 3 of season 3, we will go deeper. and still deeper. And deeper still. That's how I meant to say that. And if you're feeling called to go deeper into your own world, to really maybe understand what's coming up for you, if you want some additional insight, I now offer one-on-one sessions with future course opportunities and future coaching opportunities also in the works. And you can find me at my website, aspiritualworld.com. Everything is there when you are ready. And if you are looking for the free offerings like meditations and such, those are currently on the A Spiritual World YouTube channel. I will continue to put stuff out there as well. And I do have a freebie that is it's going to be a tag along to my signature course. It is called the Mind Reset Workbook. It is absolutely fabulous. I am in love with it personally, and I think that you will love it too. And you can sign up for my email list and get it at aspiritualworld.com as well. So, until episode 3, namaste and many blessings on your way.